Do you ever feel like you're kind of stuck in a holding pattern? Like all your dreams and desires are just out of reach. It's almost like the universe is within you and it's just waiting to burst out, but you can't quite seem to find the code to be able to crack it and release it. And let's get into talking about unlocking your potential and how to best use the 6 ASCENT principles to do that. So let's get right into this. This is the ASCENT framework. So this is what essential principles are based on when we talk about self-excellence. When you think about potential, because we hear that a lot, right? And we hear the term of why is it that we have potential and untapped potential, and you hear all these various terms. My thing is, why is it that we can't push a button and have these things actualize and happen? Where's the disconnect? What's broken? What can we do to start to identify or self-identify those areas so we can begin to move ourselves forward? And that's really, I think, the key piece, because I am a believer in first things first, from the standpoint of I don't think you can move forward until you maybe understand better what's actually holding you where you are or holding you back. And that could be things in your current world. It could be things going as far back as your childhood. But finding those things out, dealing with those things, getting on equal terms with them gives you the launch pad, I think, to move forward.
It's interesting. I was driving back yesterday and I was listening to Thomas Sowell, who I don't know if you guys have ever heard him or read him and his work. He's like 93 years old. He's like this revered African-American historian and just an amazing individual who one of my good friends and coach who I really want you folks to meet, Jerry, kind of recommended. And he was talking about, how history plays and where I'm going with this and why this is relevant is that, to really understand, where you've come from, where you've been is so important to ensure you don't continue to repeat the cycle again. And so he said something in a way I'm like, wow, I never really thought of it that way. The importance of learning about your past to ensure that you can achieve your future goals, especially when those goals are, beliefs, cultures, habits, things that will continue to repeat itself throughout your history, your future. And so what I believe is that, we're all hopefully on this path of excellence. We're all hopefully moving towards this path of transformation. And it's really tough. And unless we are introduced, given, supported, believed in, mentored, built up this foundation of really good habits and principles, it's really tough to do this. And we see this especially in, storytelling around the haves and have-nots. It's when you think about, what is success? How do you define success first and foremost? Well, that could be based off of monetary success or other success or whatnot. For me personally, it's my ability to not have want. And it doesn't necessarily translate to like, dollar figures, etc. It's like, no, I want the ability to be able to just do whatever I want, like travel and whatnot. It's not like I need to be making $1 million a year kind of thing, because I don't believe that just purely financial salary success equates to happiness.
Yeah, 100% agree with you on that. And I think the important piece of that too is really understanding historically what you're made of. And a lot of that has to do with historically, culturally within your family, your personal journey and different experiences that you've gone through. We are this complete vessel, as we've talked about before, of all of those different things. But we spend so much time, I think, trying to just push forward. We don't spend enough time, I think, kind of looking back to see, as you said, Vince, so that we don't make the same mistake over and over or get in these recycled patterns. And that's why we're not making any progress, is because we're literally getting to a point and then regressing and coming back to that same point.